Right closer to home, the South African women's cricket team is set to return back to South Africa shortly after their second defeat in a T20 World Cup final in as many years. Despite the heartache, key players will soon be flying out to Australia for the Big Bash T20. As we await their arrival, let's take you back to OR Tambo International Airport. That's where we find our sports reporter, Harry Olivier, live to us once again from Terminal A arrivals, I imagine, Harry. Hopefully there's a bit more momentum than there was earlier on today, especially since we're still waiting for the team to arrive.
Yes, there's a few more fans here. I see the minister has just arrived. So we're going to talk to some of the fans that are here, that have made the journey to come and see the arrival of the Proteas. We're speaking to Logan Fortuin here. Logan, you've got a development, if I can call it a development cricket club going. What did you think of the South African women's performance in this World Cup?
Well, Cricket South Africa is doing quite something, right? 2 finals in a row. We are excited as development. I'm from Collector Cricket Club, and the great thing that we are seeing, we also have a one women's team in our club, and we also want to just be part of that development, and we're seeing the results like we've seen over the course of the month with the women's team.
And young lady, who's your favourite player in the South African cricket team?
Wolfhard.
Wolfhard. Are you going to be an international player one day?
Yes.
Thank you, amazing. Thank you, guys. Listen, it seems like the arrival of the team is imminent. If we can just move across and show some of the fans that are now here. We are moving. You will shortly see the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture waiting for the team to arrive. So I don't know if you guys want to stick with us and see. I'm not exactly sure when the team will arrive, but do you guys want to stick with us or come back later?
Well, I suppose we can stay on your visuals, Harry, but we still have a few moments, and perhaps you can tell us a bit more about the sense you're getting around how people are feeling there. Earlier on, you and I were speaking about this mixed bag of emotion. I mean, on the one hand, we didn't expect the team to get this far, and on the other, it felt like we just let the trophy slip right through our hands.
Yes, look, I think I'm going to repeat myself from my earlier live broadcast, but I think a lot of people here are very proud of what the team has achieved, and that we reached the final. We didn't win, obviously, the championship or the World Championship. We wanted to do that. All of us wanted South Africa to win the championship, but unfortunately we couldn't achieve it. I think the team achieved quite a lot, and I think hopefully this will just inspire them further, that the disappointment of winning a second World Cup final in a row won't drag them down, and that they can build from it, because there are positive signs. I mean, if you look at the Australian cricket team, they have dominated T20 cricket, in fact world cricket, in the last 15 years or so. And if you look at 7 of the last, I think it's 8 finals they participated in, or they've won 7 of the last 8 tournaments. They've been in, apart from the last one that we are seeing, that we played in. So we beat that Australian team. So it's starting to become not a once-off sort of performance. We are starting to beat, and when I say we, I'm talking about the South African women's cricket team. We are starting to beat bigger teams on a more regular basis, and that for me is improvement.
Right.
Okay, we're just going to see if we can speak to the Minister here. Minister, I'm Harry Olivier from SABC News.
Yeah.
We're live on Channel 404. Just tell us what your thoughts are on the women's cricket team and how they performed at the World Cup.
They performed excellent. They have knocked out Australia, which I think they've won it 7 times before. They've knocked out Australia, and I mean this was a development team the other day. Look at them today. I mean, they have opened the gates for women's sport in particular, and I am fighting now and making sure that equal pay for women and equal pay for men in sport, in all codes, not only in cricket. Cricket is leading with that, by the way, but we need women to be paid the same as men, and that is one of the things, as the Minister, that I said to myself, I'm very proud of this team. That's why I came here today, we have one of the best teams in the world. I mean, it was just bad luck, but they've done well. They've done us proud, and they're our girls, man. They're the best.
If you say equal pay, what's the financial challenges for achieving that? Is it as easy as...
You see, we must leave that thing, say financial challenges when it comes to men. But by men's sport, we pay. We don't talk about financial challenges. When it comes to women, they must be paid. We talk about financial challenges. We should work our things in this fashion that men and women get paid the same. And I'm going to fight for that. I'm not going to listen to stories about we are both financially castrated. There's never a right time to do the right thing. And the right thing to do is now. And the right thing to do. And I'm going to pressurize sporting codes. And I've been meeting with cricket. And I mean, my Department of Sport, Arts and Culture has been giving money for this particular team to be developed. And you see what happened. So my next fight is not professionalization, because the previous minister fought for them to be professionalized. It happened. Look at the results. The next fight is equal pay in sport for women and men. I mean, they both entertain, they both play, they both risk the same injuries. They both. Why is it that there's a discrepancy? I'm not going to listen to nonsense of, no, we can't do this. When are we going to do this if we can't do it now? Then we must then put a freeze on male salaries in order for women to, on male increases, in order for women to get the same.
Speaking about...
and I'm ready with my Proteas.
Speaking about sustainability, Minister, going to be looking at making sure development happens at age group level for the girls?
No, we have to. We have to make sure that, you know, I always say to people that it's an exciting time for sport in this country at the moment. And we are there. We are basically winning everything. If you've been following sport, you see we've been winning non-stop. I think you guys are a bit tired of winning. And I got bad news for you. We're going to continue winning. But, you know, grassroots, we got to get involved in schools. We need to put, you know, you can't blame the private schools. We need to emulate the private schools. We need to make sure that in cricket, the reason why you need a lot of mental efforts by different coaches. We need to put coaches in schools, and hence we've signed that the Government of National Unity has prioritized school sport. The GNU has signed the memorandum for school sports. Under the GNU, Baba, we are moving.
And on the note of school sports then, is there an understanding between the Department of Education and Sport? Where's that intersection?
No, definitely. What we've done, we've already signed the memorandum of agreement between us. The MOU has already been signed. We are now going to, both of us, what we've signed is going to find expression in our budget. Because if there's no budgetary, and that's what happened in the past, they wrote the memorandums were there, but there was never money provided or provision being made. This time, in the next budget, you will see school sport, so many millions. You can't produce nothing if you don't invest in school sport.
Does the Department of Education have a buy-in?
100%. We've got a very good education minister in Mrs. Kwarube. She's very good at what she's doing. She understands we are when it comes to that. We've got total buy-in from her. I've got a buy-in. And as you know, it's never going to gather dust. I'm not the type of minister that signs stuff that gathers dust. I'm an action man, and that is going to find expression. Look at what the woman has done. Remarkable. Do you know where for me, this final was neither here nor there. They have made us happy by beating Australia.
Do we have timelines on how we're going to handle these school sports and how things are going to be rolled out?
100%. We're starting in February next year. When the schools open, we are moving. We are not giving you dates. February next year, you will see school sport being different. Look at Walaza. Look, Walaza is an example of what happens when you put money and resources, and that's what Kuru did. They begged Walaza. And I mean, like, you know that we need funding in sport. More funding. Corporates are willing to give money, but federations need to give corporates the assurance that the money will not go buy nice cars. the money will be used for development. I mean, Walaza, there was no money for him to go to the youth. He had to jump in as the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture. 10 minutes before the flight closed, with the money. And look at how many medals we got.
Minister,
Yes, ma'am.
Cricket has made quite a significant progress if you look at the squad in terms of transformation. How important is it for us to maintain that and even be better just to represent the Rainbow Nation and the country?
I think the mistake that we've made in the past, for 30 years we've made the same mistake. We all keep on asking, why is there no black people in the squad? Why is there no black people? You want equal outcomes, but you don't have equal access. Most black people here don't have pole vaulting at this school. Then you want to ask tomorrow, why is there no pole vaulting at the Olympics blacks? We must be honest that you can't expect to be a champion in pole vaulting equipment at the school. Who's to blame for that? We, as government, we must fall on our sword and make sure we fix that. Swimming pool, we don't have a black Olympic swimmer because there's no swimming pools at the schools. And we must take responsibility. People, we must take responsibility as leaders of this country. And we are fixing that. There must be pools. Have you seen how deep is the Olympic pool? Imagine you put somebody for the first time in there, it's going to drown.
So, do you see a World Cup coming from South African cricket? We've made 3 finals, men and women. Do you see it coming in the near future? Is this the start of great things?
We are the only country that came the closest to it that didn't win it. So it's on its way. We are the closest country in the world, the men and the women. People say they choked. They didn't choke. That is nonsense. What choke? There's no choke. There's sport. There can only be one winner. And this time it wasn't us. It was them. Next time it will be us. The fact that all they need is a homegrown advantage. With a homegrown advantage. You know, South African supporters are different. Once we're there, they were going to win. I've got no doubt in my mind.
Well, I don't know if we're still connected to the studio, but that was the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Gayton, McKenzie.
We certainly still are, Harry. We're listening into that entire briefing as we wait for the team to finally arrive there at Ora Tambo International Airport. If you've just joined us, this is The Agenda. I'm Amanda Ngati. We're taking in there the sentiments of Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Gayton McKenzie, who, of course, is among the few fans, dare I add, that at the airport this morning to try to welcome the women's Proteas team after they reached the finals of the T20 that was played in Dubai. That, of course, is in the Middle East. So close, yet so far, it seems in some instances. But the overriding sentiment is that the team, given their own track record, has actually done extremely well to even get to the final, especially given the fact that to do so, they had to beat Australia, who've won that tournament multiple times.